IVM.
Folks, welcome to Paisa Vaisa. I'm your host Anupam Gupta, B50 on Twitter. Hey, आज तो मेरी छुट्टी है. Okay, fine. Today is a really special episode because we've got a teenager and a teenage-focused product, right? I'm the old guy out here, so I said, why not get an actual teenager and the guys who are presenting you with this product, which is aimed at teenagers. I have no idea how old they are, but they seem like 1/3 my age. Okay, anyway, so please stay tuned as Vedant, our 16-year-old guest, interviews Kush, Taneja, and Sambhav Jain, co-founders of FamPay, about the FamPay Card. This is going to be a whole lot of fun. Right after this short break, we'll be right back.
$100. That's all it takes to begin your journey with Bitcoin and Ethereum. No, really. With CoinSwitch, you can start investing in over 100 cryptocurrencies with just 100 rupees. On top of that, there are zero charges for deposits and withdrawals, so you can trade, buy, sell, however and whenever you want. All of this, plus their extremely intuitive interface, makes CoinSwitch the perfect app for beginners in the crypto space. But don't take my word for it. Just download CoinSwitch for free and try it out for yourself. If you'd like more information on cryptocurrencies, tune into a show about crypto with me, Rohan Joshi, my new adventure on IVM Podcasts. CoinSwitch, kuch to badlega.
And welcome back. So, folks, we are doing an experiment on today's episode. Now, the product on today's episode, right, what we're talking about is aimed at teenagers. And I am definitely not a teenager. So I thought, let's get in an actual teen to ask questions from his perspective to my guests. Okay, so let's get started, guys. This is going to be a four-way. Okay, I'm going to first introduce the founders of this really cool product, and then I'm going to introduce you to the guest who's going to ask this product. Okay, here goes. First, Kush, Taneja, and Sambhav Jain. Welcome to Paisa Vaisa, guys. Thank you so much for doing this for our listeners. I love that you are submitting yourself to a very sharp 16-year-old. Okay, but first, tell us about yourselves. Tell us about FamPay. Over to you guys.
Sure. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Glad to be here. We are FamPay. FamPay is building India's first neobank for teenagers. We give a very cool debit card as well as access to UPI. We bring them on board to this ecosystem of payments, banking, and we are looking at a very fresh way. We are trying to make banking more fun, and we are trying to empower like 40% of India population, which is teenagers. So yeah.
Okay, that folks was Kush, Taneja. For those of you who are seeing the video, you'll see the names on the Zoom call, but that was Kush. Sambhav, over to you. Sambhav, sorry. Have I got your name wrong? I'm really sorry, brother. Sambhav, whatever. Sorry.
It's Sambhav.
Sambhav,
yeah, you got
possible.
It right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anupam, for inviting us here. It's great to be here. So, yeah, as Kush mentioned, we both are building FamPay. We both have been friends since our days of IIT Roorkee. We both graduated a couple of years back. We started building this when we were still in college in our final semester. And the problem we saw was fairly simple, that every product that you see out there in the market, especially financial product, all of them are being built for adults, right? Talk about payments app, banks, or UPI apps or whatever. Everyone is building for the adults, where minors, if you look at minors, it consists of 40% of India's population, and they all have smartphones. They are much more tech savvy. They are already transacting on platforms like Swiggy, Amazon, Ola, Uber. But yeah, they don't have access to their own digital payments. They don't have access to their own banking. They are still dependent on their parents to borrow cash, to borrow their debit card, credit card. Kids told us problems like they have to ask for OTP every time they are transacting online and their parents are busy in a meeting. So like just to even buy a t-shirt, they have to wait 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense. And we thought this is a great problem to solve, a very new market to enter. No one is tapping into them. So yeah, we started building FamPay with the vision that Kush mentioned of building India's first neobank with a fresh approach.
Good. You're going to have a 16-year-old asking you all these questions. So, Sambhav, Kush, you guys look like 12 or 13-year-olds, right? But I'm sure you're not, because you mentioned IIT Roorkee. So I'm guessing you're what? Mid early 20s?
Yeah, we just last week, both of us turned 24.
Hold. Are you in your final year or have you graduated?
No, we graduated a couple of years back.
Nice. So, okay, chalo. Let me get you to the real guest of our show. I've done one episode long ago with kids, so I have had kids on the show, but this time I've got a teenager. He is 16-year-old Vedant from Mumbai. Vedant, welcome to Paisa Vaisa. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this experiment. Tell us about yourself.
So, hi, I'm Vedant, and I'm 16 and I'm studying in the 11th grade. So, like most boys my age, I have a keen interest in the latest gadgets. I'm also a really big sports fan and I really like shoes a lot. So, I've always wondered how can I get the financial freedom to fulfill these desires as a teen? So, when I first heard about your product, I was really hoping that this could help get my dream come true.
And what for you said sports, man? Come on, there's sports is all over the place. Are you talking about football because the UEFA Champions League is going on right now? Football, cricket. What do you like?
So I really like football. My favorite team is Bayern Munich.
Ah,
And I also like basketball as well. I support the LA Clippers. Quite an unconventional choice. But yeah.
nice. Sambhav, Kush. Sorry, what do you guys? Do you have a favorite team? IPL, cricket, football, anything?
So we both are followers of F1.
Oh, my
But
man! Please don't tell me
yeah.
Hamilton, okay? Because I'm a Ferrari guy.
this year I'm personally rooting for Max to win and break the streak.
Verstappen, अरे क्या
There's
बात है?
nothing against Hamilton. I really like him a lot. But it's just that it would be good to see
The two
a
of
new
us,
face winning the.
the two of us can have a beer together. That much I can tell you. I am rooting for Verstappen also. Kush, what about you?
I love Ricardo. I just love his smile, and I love the person. I also follow chess, so I'm into chess too.
Nice. We got chess, we got Formula One, and we've got Euro football. Chalo. Now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Vedant take over from here. He's going to ask you the questions. You guys given the answers. I'm going to take a step back, and whenever I feel that I have to button, I will, of course, button. But Vedant, it's all yours now. Thanks, Sambhav. Thanks, Kush. Guys, over to you.
So are you all ready for my first question?
Yes, yes.
So I was wondering, how does FamPay compare to cash? Because lots of my friends get pocket money in cash, and obviously it's really easy to spend cash. But for like digital transactions, you need a smartphone and various apps and OTPs. I mean, that sounds like a lot of effort. So do I like also need a smartphone for to use FamPay?
Yeah, so like it's not necessary to use your smartphone, or the idea is that the way you use YouTube, Instagram to consume content, it's similar. You can use anything, iPad, any smartphone, any your cousin's smartphone to just manage your card. But however, you can still use a card without having a.
And the whole question around like how is it compared to cash? I think the whole economy is moving towards digital, and the penetration of digital payments in India has been ever extending after, especially after UPI entering into the picture, right? And we saw this was something that we didn't come up with, but while we were speaking to kids, they're like, we see everyone scanning and paying at shops, and we can't scan and pay. We are still looking out for change. Kids told us problems like every time I'm going out for tuitions, I have to borrow 200 rupees in cash. I keep 500 in my secret pocket for emergencies and all. And it just didn't add up. Like, definitely having a phone, having a card, there's OTP and all. There's a couple of extra steps to it, but that comes up with the layer of security, right? It brings in security, which is very important for kids. Kids were losing cash. They did not know like where to keep the cash. They were losing it in their bags, in their pockets. It got washed away with jeans, right? So there are a lot of challenges with cash as well. And that is why we were very sure that, okay, the next generation needs to be cashless. Digital is the future. And yeah, that was the thought process again, like cash versus cashless.
What are the freebies or discounts on FamPay? Because everything from credit card reward points to Paytm, GPay, they all offer some benefits these days. I mean, I've heard from my dad of lots of points he's accumulated because he's used his credit card. So, what are the freebies or discounts you can get from FamPay?
Yeah, definitely. So we are extensively working on linking the brands and experiences that kids value directly on the app as compared to other platforms. Of course, you get discounts and all, but that are not relevant for you as a teenager, right? You probably would get discounts on flights, or you will get something off on your next gas bill payment and all of that, but it's not relevant for you as a teenager. Probably teenagers would like to spend on gaming, entertainment, on lifestyle brands, on learning. So those are the brands that we are collectively talking to and getting on board. We have a lot of electronics brands like Boat, Leaf. We have partnered with edtech platforms like Unacademy, Front Row. We have also partnered with lifestyle brands like Man Matters, Urban Company, and all of that. And you can find those offers on the app. But more than that, we have our own rewarding currency or economy, you can call it, For every transaction you do on the app, you earn fam coins. And with those fam coins, you can do much more than just discounts and offers. We keep on doing a bunch of giveaways, donations, a lot of masterclasses, learning events. So yeah, it's a platform where we are curating things that a teenager would like and it's relevant for them. And you'll find a bunch of them. Yeah.
So, how are the parents involved? Do I sign up or does my dad sign up? Because I know he's not going to give me a lot of money. And do I have to run to him every time to get a top up on my balance?
So, FamPay understands parents and teenagers both very well. We know that, how difficult was it for you to, wait for OTPs, wait for parents to come in and then give your card. Regarding sign up, you can sign up yourself. The process is very much fun. You can do it independently. You just need some details from your parents, which is one time. And once you do that, you get access to the card and the app. You don't have to go to them every single time. We are there for you. The way you used to get earlier, you have to ask every time, right? But instead of you, FamPay will do it for you. We built a feature known as Pocket Money, where we give you the tools to hack it. You can just automate it. Let's say you want money every single week. You can just schedule it, and your parent will fund it from Google Pay, Phone Pay, or anything.
So, speaking of signing up, is there a fee involved? I mean, how do I even convince my dad to sign up for this?
No, so there's no sign up fee involved. You can sign up for free. You just download the app, get onboarded, complete KYC. Talking about convincing your dad, definitely we have more than 3 million plus registered users, and our acquisition strategy has been more focused towards kids. So the kids are the ones who go up to their parent and just convince the parents on to get them a card. But the thing is, we have seen this. Vedant, you can validate for us if it's true or not. We've been seeing that kids are the decision influencers at home while parents are the decision makers, but kids heavily influence all the decisions at home, be it whenever, let's say, there's a talk about purchasing a car, a fridge, a TV, a smartphone. Parents go to their kids and ask for the which is the best one to buy. Like you tell us the best specs out there, right? So kids are always involved, even from choosing the color of the car, right? It's the kids who influence all the decisions, especially when it comes to technology. Parents learn from their kids on how to forward a message on WhatsApp, how to pin a chat, how to set up DP. So for us, targeting this product where we are moving from cash to cashless, it's not a purchase, like it's not a kid trying to go and ask for a 35,000 phone. It's just that kid goes and says, stop giving me cash and give me money through this. Even you'll be able to track this better, and it is much more secure. And the other thing that has really helped in expanding that conviction is when the kids tell that all my other friends are using this, parents are usually convinced that, okay, if all the other parents are giving money through this, even I can sign up for that, right? So those are a few things that really help parents to get convinced. And also, definitely when parents go up and look for FamPay on the internet, we have a special landing page for them. We have enough videos on YouTube which talks about the benefits of the platform, which definitely helps to get them convinced more faster. But you tell us, like, are you involved in the major purchases, household purchases at home? Do you help your parents in helping them learn about the new apps and technology?
Vedant, you've got a question for you. Nicely played, Sambhav. Vedant, what do you say?
I definitely make sure to give my opinion. Most of the time it's taken into consideration. Sometimes it's just ignored, but it's fine.
But you are an influencer, no doubt about that, right? Sambhav, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Vedant, last question before we go into a break. I'm going to sneak in a few of mine, but I'll let Vedant go first. Vedant, follow.
So, is your card accepted everywhere offline, like say Starbucks, Domino's, Adidas, or is it not accepted everywhere? And also, is it accepted overseas? Because when I travel, I still want to use the card, right?
Yeah. So talking about the domestic purchases first, yes, it's accepted everywhere. We are a Visa powered card. So Visa network is almost accepted everywhere, and so is our card. Talking about the international payments are currently not accepted, but we are working on it. It should be out soon.
Okay, cool. I'm going to slip in a couple of questions here. Sambhav, Kush, whichever, can just choose who answers this. But how do I sign up out? I mean, I download the app and then what's the onboarding process like? Do I need any documents with me? How does that work?
So yeah, the onboarding flow is pretty simple. You come on board, you enter your phone number, it gets verified through an OTP. And as a kid, the only government ID you have is Aadhaar, right? So we ask for your Aadhaar number and it gets verified through an OTP again. That's how the flow is. And then we also need parents KYC. So parent can either complete the KYC on the kid's device itself, or they can download the app separately. They get a link through an SMS to complete the KYC. So yeah, that's more or less the onboarding flow.
Okay, is this some stuff on full KYC, part KYC or anything? Does that affect you or that's fine? कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है उससे?
नहीं, definitely उससे काफी फर्क पड़ता है. So there are different types of KYC. Depends if the parent is doing a min KYC by giving, let's say, minimal documents like PAN or passport or something else. But if they're doing Aadhaar KYC, it's considered to be full KYC, and the limits of spending can be higher in that case.
Okay. And then you can graduate, I think, from minimum to full, right?
Yes, anytime. Yeah.
Okay, so folks, on that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. As you can see, we've got a full house out here. We have got two founders, that's Kush, Taneja, and Sambhav Jain, co-founders at FamPay, and we've got Vedant Krishnan who's asking the questions. So then don't go anywhere, folks. More questions on the FamPay app from Vedant to the founders right after this break.
Eventually, you'll see the end of your childhood,
Get accustomed to womanhood.
enjoy the experience of sisterhood,
Might get to wifehood
or not, choose motherhood,
or not. You'll learn to define your personhood.
earn a livelihood,
Change the neighborhood.
and get rid of the falsehood that life post-academia is easy.
So join me, Ritasha,
And me, Ayushi,
on a journey from station starting point.
to station, what now?
Next station, Pudin station, and hopefully, Agla station, adulthood.
Fresh episodes out every Thursday.
And welcome back. Vedant, over to you once again. You've got 3 questions more. Go for it.
So, from my limited experiences of online purchases, I've noticed that you need to enter a card number, but your card doesn't have a number, right? So, how can I use it online? But more importantly, can I get scammed online when I'm using it?
No, not at all. Yeah, we actually did it so that it's more safer. Nobody actually questioned why do you need numbers on the card. Whenever you transact online, you just need the numbers and you can get it from the FamPay app. But when you transact offline, you actually don't need any numbers. And we thought of removing it because let's say you lost your card and someone can misuse it if they have the numbers. But in our case, if you lose your FAM card, nobody will actually get to know the numbers because they are secure and logged in your mobile app. So it makes it more and more secure. Plus, it makes it more fun, cool. It's more appealing because it looks so cool. You can post videos about it as well.
So yeah, this is how the card looks. There are no numbers on it.
Nice.
And
so just help me out here, guys. So how does, let's say I go to Amazon and whatever, order some thing out there. So when they ask me for a card, how do I put it in there then?
So you just open the app and there's a virtual card. So the card details are available on the app and it can only be accessed after entering your mobile PIN, Face ID, fingerprint or whatever. So that is what like Kush was mentioning, that it makes it much more secure, right? No one can access your details without your PIN. And while you're like just swiping the card, you don't need the numbers to be physically on the card, right? Because you're entering the PIN anyway. So
okay.
Yeah.
But if you lose your card, I have to tell you that, right?
Yeah. So on the app itself, you can pause the card, you can block the card. There's all that functionality.
See, This is the reason, this is why I'm like stuck into the old Purana Zamane ka credit card thing. And I'm like, if I lose the card, I'll have to call up and I'll have to do this and I'll have to do that. So sorry, Vedant, I took your space out there. Please, next question.
So what really bugs me is that the statements will go to my parents. I mean, I already get grief for binging on junk food and buying new games. Is there any way you can maybe hide the details?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. But over time, I think it's all comes down to the relationship between the parent and the child. And we have kept the product that way, that it's between the parent and the kid on how they want to set up the settings on kitni transparency chahiye, what are the kind of transactions I want to look at. And they can set up a default limit that over and above, let's say a transaction of 1,000 rupees only, I should get notified or SMS. And below that, there's no setting. So if you can convince your parent to up that limit, you are in a safe zone. But in any case, our default limit is set at 500. So all the transactions above 500 are the only transactions for which parents receive an SMS. Apart from that, it's completely hidden.
I like the sound of that, Vedant. Anything else?
So finally, for my last question, I really love the idea that FamPay is trying to give us teens financial freedom. But I really like to get smart in dealing with my money. So I'm also really interested in investing in the stock market and in mutual funds. So is there any way I can maybe learn to do that through FamPay? Maybe someday if I get lucky, I can even self-fund my college degree.
No, with the Nifty at 18,000, man, who knows that's possible. Sambhav, Kush, all yours.
Yeah, so we started with that only. The entire idea was to educate the young generation about money and make it more fun. What we have learned is that if you do it practically, you learn it better. It's more like a life skill. The way you learn how to drive a car is the way you learn to deal with money, and that is why we have started with payments. We have started with saving, and we are soon coming to investing as well. We're doing a bunch of experiments with Ant, and we would like you to also give ideas. We'll include you in brainstorming sessions so that we can build it together.
Then are you going to take that offer?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, guys. Sambhav, Kush, anything else that you want to tell Vedant? Any features, anything that we missed out, anything that you want to tell him which makes, which could convince him to try it out? Because I like the sound of it, man. But the ultimate customer is Vedant and my kid. My kid is also a teenager. Anything else you want to tell him?
Have you tried the app already?
Yeah.
No, not yet. But hopefully soon I can maybe try the app and start using the card as well.
I think you downloaded it and played around with it, right? I mean, that's what even I did.
Sort of. I started, but then I needed to enter some Aadhaar details of it. Hopefully someday I can be someone who is a proud owner of a FamPay card and use it at various establishments.
Yeah, I mean, I downloaded it. I thought it was quite smooth. I just thought that we'll get your point of view out here. But guys, any features you want to talk about out here? Anything that is that your users have told you it's a really cool feature? They really like it. You've got like a 4.2 rating on the Google Play Store with almost like 100,000 reviews. That's pretty damn good, right? And you said you've got 3 million users. What's your feedback so far? How long has it been since you've had this card?
So we launched about a year back. We launched in August 2020. It's been a year. And we launched a second segment of card just a couple of months back. We launched a second segment of cards, which is called the Fam Card Me. And it's India's first doodle card. So the users can actually draw doodles on it and personalize the card to the extent they want their card to be, right? And it's a premium version of a cards where even the rewards that you get on the card are 4x. So on the standard card, you get 2x fam coins on every transaction, but on the Fam Card Me, you get 4x fam coins. It's only been a month, but the adoption has been crazy. You can already find hundreds of unboxing videos on YouTube. Kids have created a lot of boomerangs, reels, stories, photos with the card. So the interesting thing is that like the sense of ownership that a kid has, right? It's much more higher than any adult, because today if you buy a phone, Anupam, you'll be like, okay, I bought a phone.
That's right.
But the sense of ownership that the kid has on his first phone, that okay, it's my phone, it's my Activa, it's my bicycle, right?
Yeah.
That's the sense of ownership we feel when the card gets delivered and the kid feels, okay, this is my first card. And the kids just go crazy on the internet. They just create a lot of content. They post pictures, tell it to their friends. And that has been amazing to reach the 3 million registered user base that we have. And the second thing I wanted to highlight was
this is how the India's first doodle card looks like. You can literally design whatever you want.
यार कुछ मुझे लगा कुछ फॉर्मूला 1 का फोटो होगा यार वहाँ पे आपने तो क्या ये डॉग एंड हार्ट्स लगा दिया है. I'm wondering who actually owns that card, but okay,
I'm a huge dog lover, guys.
Nice.
So another thing I wanted to highlight was as Vedant was also talking about getting financial freedom, learning about financial literacy, right? We also try to push financial literacy through a lot of gamified ways on the app. So just for example, we have a savings feature on the app which is called Save the Streak. So just like kids use Snapchat, so बच्चे Snapchat पे क्या करते हैं? They send a photo to their friends every day to maintain a streak. And you wouldn't believe there are kids who have streak of more than 1,200 days, 1,300 days. So just imagine, for the last 3.5, 4 years, they have been sending a photo to the friend every day just to maintain that streak. So we took inspiration from that behavior, that this is a concept that kids understand, and we brought it to savings. So on the app, you can just save as minimum as 10 rupees every day, and you maintain a streak. On every 7th day, 10th day, on every milestone, you get rewarded with fam coins on that. So we are trying to inculcate the habit of savings in a gamified way by incentivizing it on the app. And there are a lot of other features which help you understand banking better. Just talk about, let's say, why maintaining a minimum balance is a better thing, and a lot of things around that, right? So
okay, let me understand. So it's essentially a prepaid card that I as a parent load up and give it to my kid. Have I got that right?
Yes.
So do you have like a nuclear button where, the monthly amount has gone more than 50,000? I'm like, when did that ever happen? Like, how do I as a parent get notified कि यार थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो रहा है अभी? Is there any option for that?
So parents can anyway set up monthly and weekly limits on the spend, right? And the source of money for the kid is the parent itself. So there's other way where the kid can get money from. It's usually the parent who tops up the account, and they have the ability to just limit the spends on a weekly, monthly, or a daily basis.
So do the parents get notified कि Vedant bought sneakers for $10,000? And then do they get actually notified that way?
If the transaction is of a higher amount, yes, they get an SMS that there was a spend made of this amount.
But ये जो चॉकलेट है वो सब चल जाएगा, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है.
वो सब पे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
चलो ठीक है. Vedant, any more questions? Anything that's that you want to ask? So I can get my questions in then.
So is there any limit on the card for how much parents can load up, or is it just?
Oh, is there any limit on the card that the parents can load up? I like that. Of course, guys.
Kush.
10 lakh, 20 lakh.
I wish there was no limit, but because of the KYC and RBI guidelines, there's a limit of 1 lakh rupees in an account at any point of time. But you can do it again and again, and spend more. And there are FAM coins too, so you can play around. There are a bunch of stuff you can do.
I mean, 1 lakh is more than enough.
There you go. See, he's already getting the latest iPhone, I guess, 13 Max Pro or something. Any tie-ups there, guys? Anything, cashback like all the leading banks are giving? You guys have any tie-ups in mind going forward? Because it's a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. We are working on some exclusive partnerships.
Good.
And we'll be announcing them in foreseeable future. Yeah.
Chalo, theek hai. So I have 2 questions from my side. Just, your basic, very safety, hygiene questions. First up is, who have you tied up for the FamPay card, right? Because you don't have a banking license, but you would have tied up with somebody. So when I'm opening a FamPay account, who am I opening the account with at that point of time?
We have tied up with IDFC First Bank, and whenever you open an account, it is opened with IDFC First.
Okay. Do I also then get their, they have slightly higher interest rates also on the savings bank account? Am I eligible for that?
Right now, this is a prepaid card, so there's no interest on that. But yeah, maybe in the future, we'll do something around that.
Sure. And this again, like I said, safety hygiene questions. God forbid, worst case scenario, if FamPay shuts down, what will happen to my money?
We'll definitely figure out a way to return that money. Your money is completely safe. Yeah. Kush.
Whenever you load money, right, we know where it came from. So whenever something like that happens, we'll just give it back to that source.
So we're cool that way.
Yeah.
चलो ठीक है, because मुझे लाइन में नहीं लगना है बॉस. मतलब वो मत कराना मेरे से. Sambhav, sorry, you were saying?
I was saying, we hope it doesn't come to that day at all.
Yeah.
We don't get to see that day.
I don't think it will, man. Come on, 3 million users. I think the RBI is also quite careful about that. So I hope that day also does not come. But I wish you guys all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Sounds like a really exciting product. I hope that I can have you guys maybe next year on the show when you've got new products out. But folks, that's it. That is a wrap. Okay, I'm going to thank all my guests one by one. First, Vedant. Vedant, thank you so much, for doing this for our listeners and for taking all the time for this episode. Thank you.
No problem. It was a very enjoyable experience.
Excellent. And Sambhav, Jain, co-founder of FamPay, thank you very much for doing this episode of Paisa Vaisa.
Thank you so much, Anupam, for inviting us to Paisa Vaisa. I had a great time.
Nice of you. Kush, Taneja, thank you so much for doing this for our listeners on Paisa Vaisa.
Thank you, Anupam. Love to be here. Super excited. काफी मजा आया.
Thank you so much. And listeners, if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm your host, Anupam Gupta, B50 on Twitter. And thank you so much for listening to Paisa Vaisa.
No material on the show should be considered as financial advice. The material on the show is for informational purposes only. Please consult a financial advisor before taking any investment decision.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On this year-end special Think Fast, Varun and Suchita give their predictions on what lies ahead for the world of business and startups in 2022. We have Manjima Chatterjee with us on Audio Gyan. She is a drama explorer and educator. Kedar and Manjima talk about the new education policy, Bengali plays, and a whole lot more. On a Cock and Bull episode of Cyrus Says, Antrish and I joined Cyrus to discuss New Year resolutions, no restaurant food for cops, and COVID self-tests. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk discuss major events and trends in the tech policy space and their expectations for 2022. On Simplified, the gang looks back at how the last 12 months have passed for them personally. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, do tell a friend. The word of mouth absolutely is essential to us. Don't forget to rate us on any of the platforms that you've been listening to. And also, I'd like to ask everybody to check us out on YouTube. We have a number of channels going. You can find all of them on ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Cred, Bank of Baroda, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and Intel. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Do you wonder why China does the things that it does? Or want to know how we could improve online privacy? Or perhaps you're thinking about how we can kickstart India's economy. If you'd like to search for the answers to such questions, check out All Things Policy, a daily public policy podcast that covers everything from employment figures to aircraft carriers. Tune in from Monday to Friday for new episodes and fresh takes.